go ahead and open up After Effects for myself. Alright, swing it over here. Alright, and again, I'm recording this, so it should be available on video with the full resolution. Can't quite make it out here just yet. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and import my video. Alright, I'm going to make a new composition. Proper name. Alright, 24 frames per second. And then for duration, let's just go with 10 seconds. I'm just going to change up the background to mix it up a little bit better. Alright, cool. So I got my new composition, got my video, just click and drag. Alright. Scrub through, make sure it's working. And it's just a simple zoom in on the white canvas here. Cool. Alright, so we learned last class was how to make 3D text, right, in After Effects, where we can, zoom around. We can even animate it if need be. So right now, what we want to learn, we'll start learning today, is how to get that 3D text into a 3D space. So it's pretty simple here. So tracker panel, that's what we're going to be messing with for the next couple of weeks. We have several options here. We have track camera, we have stabilized motion, warp stabilizer. Both of these are important once you start shooting your own footage. We'll get into that later. And then track motion, which would be the second part of this, where we can track just a point in space, right? But for right now, we want to use the magic bullet called track camera. And what I mean by magic bullet is that for some footage, it works really well. Other footage doesn't work at all. And there's pretty much no recourse or debugging process for this. Either it works or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, I'll show you how to use other operations to get it to work. But for this one here, this particular video, it works just fine. So what I'm going to do first is select my layer. Hit. 10 seconds. Alright, and then we're going to hit track camera, and it's going to take a second. You can see it processing off to your side here. So whenever you add an effect, it's going to bring up this effects controls window on top of your project window, project resource window. They're both tabs, so if you need to go back to your project resources to add more compositions, more videos, you just click on this tab up top here, and you're back into standard resource panel here. Go back to viewing your effects. You hit the tab, effect controls, and you can see your effects here. So my effect's called 3D camera tracker, right? It gives you the information here, and as it operates, you can see the number of frames is running through. And mine's is finished just now. All right. So I got my track points. All right, I can see all the different track points on here. If you don't see yours, make sure you click this render track points checkbox right here. All right, and again, all this is also available underneath the layer. All right, we hit our drop arrow, go into effects. You can see 3D camera tracker, and I'll give you all the information that you need to adjust this as needed. All right, so I got my track points. They're rendered out. All right. Hit my arrow, and then, oh, looks like I lost my, there we go. Okay, so select my effect, and then when I scroll over into the footage, you can see this bullseye moving about. So what this bullseye is trying to do, depending on the location of your mouse, is trying to find a flat surface, right? Depending on 3 points in the image where you want to place either text, null, or some other information. All right, so using this bullseye, I'm going to try to line it up with the seat of the couch here. Right. So right about here looks okay. So once I find that point, and it looks like the bullseye is lining up with the surface I want it to line up with, I can hit right click, create text and a camera. Now this camera is very important. I'll show you why in just a second here. Alright, when we do that, it comes up with a default text that we can adjust accordingly. So I'm going to say, let's call this 3D text. Alright, make some adjustments, make it smaller, change the default, the font to something more readable. Alright, and then, yeah, it looks good enough. Alright, so let's get that in place, then I can start scrubbing through or press and hit play. And as you can see, that text starts to stick to the couch, that point in 3D space. So that's what Track Camera does. It makes a 3D space for you where you can add in 2D elements that follows your footage. Alright, so I'm going to pause right here so everybody can catch up. Let's go ahead and let's make a text in 3D space within the footage here. I'll come around and check, then we'll move on to the next step. What happened? Mm-hmm. Did you double clicked it? Let's hit fit. Okay, so let's go back to the composition. Select that. Alright, and then in the zoom area, Dropbox, let's hit fit. Okay, so it's brand new, so let's bring the footage in.
Can I drag it down?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Then track camera and text. Text and camera.
You said we got to make the text 3D, right?
Well, not yet. That's the next step. So we're just going to place the text in the 3D space. What happened?
It's not sticking to the couch.
Did you make the text before tracking the camera? Yeah, so you have to make the text after tracking the camera. Okay. And then right click.
Okay, that's okay with the text and camera. I'll keep the conversation.
Awesome. There it is.
be on active camera, right?
Yeah, for now. If for whatever reason you lose your render track points, you just come back to your effect. Oh, not that. You select your camera tracker, and it should pop up.
You said if you ever lose it?
Yeah, if you lose your render points,
Okay.
right? Like you hit another layer and you're trying to add some more text or another element in here. Select your effect for your footage. It should pop back up for you. All right, cool. You got it in there? Okay, scrub through. You can see the sticking.
This one?
Scrub through the footage.
Oh. This is moving.
Right there.
That's what I'm trying to figure out why.
So yeah, so the bullet, bullseye,
Right.
then right click and text and camera. So let's start with just the footage again. So let's delete all the other layers.
I don't know where that came from. That's fine. Okay.
Well, no, let's delete that too.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the effects. So you can see our bullet points
Right here.
there. And then select the layer. The layer.
Yeah, I don't think let's see
Yeah.
here.
So yeah, let's do that. So in that window, we'll select the layer that has the effect.
And then hit this.
It looks like it took it off. So let's
Right.
retract the camera. So off to the side here. Let's close character.
Close it.
Let's close that panel. No, just click. Or not close, collapse. There we go. And then let's hit tracker. Awesome. Let's reselect that layer.
The text, right?
No,
The
not
text
that
on
one.
there. Can I delete it?
Yeah.
Okay. This.
Mm-hmm.
And then these two right here.
Mm-hmm. Let it work. Did it work?
Yeah, really.
You see where it's working on that effect
Right here.
panel? Yeah.
It's a lot.
Mm.
It's just like 241.
Yeah, just about. Find it. Oh, yeah, it's good.
And you said,
Hmm. All right, it's there.
yes, now can I put the text again?
So,
Or
well, hold on. Let's wait for the tracking points.
those?
Yeah. Then let's find the bullseye, and then we right click when we find the right bullseye. All right, and then we can also scroll backwards to frame 1 there.
So put back the fit, you think?
No, no, you're fine. Let's scroll back to frame 1. Or scrub back to frame 1. So the time slider? The time slider? So you can get more space there?
Oh,
Sure.
back. Right here, the other?
That looks about right. Sure. Yeah. Right click. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Take some camera, then there you go. You got your editable text there. All right, ready?
Yeah, why is mine bigger? Should it okay that side or make it smaller?
It's up to you. There's aesthetics there. Okay, cool. So next part, it's doing what we did last time, right? So we wanted to text here. We make sure we're on the right renderer, which is the Cinema 4D. All right. That way we can go into our geometry options. So hit that drop arrow there. Go into extrusion depth. Add some value in there. Make it a little thicker. All right, and so it's facing upwards, right? It's sitting on the seat there. Let's get the point towards the camera. And for that, we're gonna have to do something a little tricky here. So we need a camera to view it, so we can rotate it at the right angle. Because I'm trying to hit that X rotation, and you can go from it from this view, but it's a lot easier to go ahead and make another camera. So come down here to the layers, right click in empty space, hit new camera. All right, let's just leave it at the default values. I'm going to give it a name. Let's call it the viewing camera.
How do you double check the render with the Cinema 4D?
Well, if it isn't on, you won't be able to extrude it.
Oh,
All right. That's pretty much it. If it doesn't show up, usually for mine it pops up in the bottom right of the canvas panel. Otherwise, we can go up here to see. It's probably preferences. Make sure this is right. No, not quite. Where's my renderer at?
What are you doing right here?
Well, I'm looking for a way to. Oh, don't want to do that. Looking for a way to verify my renderer. Make sure it's at Cinema 4D. Might not be in here though. Let's see. It's not popping up for me. Well, is anybody having trouble extruding?
Yeah.
Is all there? Okay. All right. Since mine's is already in Cinema 4D, it doesn't seem like it's giving me the option to switch renders anywhere. Okay, so we'll work what we have here. All right, so I got the extrusion going. I got my extra camera, my viewing camera. All right, next I want to go and switch to that camera. No, not that. I had to step back a version. It's kind of missing a couple of essential things here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So for 17.7, yours probably has it. It's usually down here in the bottom right corner of the canvas panel here. You can switch from active camera to your new camera, which is, oh goodness. Which is not here. Okay. Just a second, guys. I didn't think it'd be missing this much functionality. Okay. So we can pan around, but how do we get back to it? Oh.
Are you trying to figure out how to get back to the video?
Yeah, to the original camera here. It's kind of weird how they just tuck it away like that. That can't be useful. Okay.
Can we use the start on
Maybe. Let's see. Cameras. It's up here. Put it in the full view. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. All right. It's still. It's just cutting it off. Goodness. That's a lot. All right. Cool. So there's a Dropbox. See if I can get it to show up here.
It's not, you say you are running the video?
Yeah, it's recording now.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can get it to. Still not there. All right. Okay, so this is my. No, still not there. Wow. Okay, so I mean, this is my canvas panel detached without everything else. And there should be a Dropbox right here in the bottom corner. It's probably just too small for it to come up here for whatever reason. A weird setback. But here's where you would select that new camera you just made. Alright, and then you use that camera, you tumble around, pressing and holding Alt, and then pressing and holding left click. And that way you can tumble around using your new camera and seeing just where you're at in 3D space. That way you can select your 3D text and then rotate it appropriately. So I'm just going to rotate mine a little bit upwards so it looks like the bottom part of the 3D text is sitting right on top of the couch. About there. Then I'm going to do this arbitrary thing of switching it to laptop screen. Switching back. My 3D tracker camera. And then bringing it back in here. Okay, make some adjustments, and then scrub through the timeline here. Alright, so it looks a little better. I got my extruded text sitting on the couch, upright. And it looks like it's in the scene, almost. Whatever.
It kind of looks like a day from last time, like this week. What did I do? No?
It's a footage tab, right? So let's just go back to our composition tab.
Okay.
Let's double click on that composition. So it's video, the composition. Instead of the video.
Oh, okay.
So move on one axis at a time, because right now it's going to move it in all three directions, and that's going to just end up floating. It's hard to keep track of it when it's floating. Notice go through the timeline. It gives you an idea of what kind of changes you're doing to your text.
Now, when I add the video camera on, I have to see. When I add the video camera on, it's not to explain that way.
What is?
Text.
Yes.
Easy on me. Like, it's not. We just make it good.
well, let's see. Let's hide that camera again. That's what it's supposed to do. Let's try to switch that camera view. So either you see active camera, active camera in the bottom. Switch to the new camera. Alright, and then let's tumble around. So press and hold. Those are keyframes for the tracker camera. So looks like it's still following. Alright. Let's try to rotate it upwards a little bit.
Okay, the text break.
Yeah. And the extrusion.
You need a different text on it, different one.
That'll work. Alright, and then for the camera view, let's switch back to the tracker camera. So the camera view, so what can we see from no, the next one. There we go. 3D tracker. Alright, let's scroll through. It's working. That's it. It's working. Probably just it's a functional camera. The new camera is really functional, right? So once you got what you need, you can delete it, and then you have to worry about the attaching issue. I'm not entirely sure where that's coming from.
So you're saying like that camera, I'm like, need forever?
Right. Okay.
And now
And then
if
you're
you,
working back in the footage.
right, because what's this one, it's not going to move. Now it's moving. Wow, there's a running time.
This is the video. We shouldn't do it right now. Just
Now my words is going to move. Oh, man, it's fine.
all moving. So let's look at it.
But it's like, now it's faded. You can't even see the ring.
Let's bring it to the top and the stacking order.
How will you have class room?
It's for an hour, man. It's for a whole hour.
No, I'm not even. I mean, I was just asking. Do you know if there's any more classes today?
Oh, any more? Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it goes.
All right, now is it in place? When you scrub through?
It's on video.
Yeah, let's try to scrub it through.
Okay.
Let's scrub. Let's grab the time cycle. Let's see what happens. Let's hide that new camera.
So it's doing the same thing mine did?
It looks like it. What's the new camera? The new camera? All right, let's scrub through it.
How is it doing?
Okay, let's start over. So let's delete all the layers. Let's practice. Layers except for the video. Awesome. All right, there's track. Track camera. Let's get this start from the beginning. Well, it's it might be a position like that. So it's going to slide it to the front one first. Select the layer. Yeah. It's pretty. Let's see. Let's see if my camera's doing that.
Why you not loaded?
No, not quite. You said it's not loading?
Remember how like the numbers were counting? The two?
Yeah, there's no counting.
Mm-hmm.
The blue bar.
Mm-hmm. I did it too.
Wait, it might be done.
Think so? I didn't even see the thing come up in the middle.
Yeah, it might be like cached or something. All right, so let's see. Render points. Track points. So it's.
3 points I can move. Do you want me to exit out and redo it all?
No, let's delete the effect. Select the effect. Or, yeah, we can just delete that and re-port the video.
Yeah, that's, you think I should do that instead?
Yeah.
That's good, too.
No, just drag, just let it back into the composition. So project resource panel.
When I show the camera, or like the view it and let it play, it's not sticking to the screen. It's scrolling through it.
Yeah, oh, okay, that might be a GPU thing. Mine's just kind of funky like that. And then, yeah, we'll just import it. It's pretty much brand new, then it's track camera.
Very
good.
A lot of stuff is easier than this.
Yeah. Okay. All right, is tracking points back up? No? Okay, nice. All right, then bullseye, right click.
Oh, there it is. Oh. Okay. So I'm gonna the same place.
Oh, whoa, yeah, so once you find it, then right click. Mm-hmm. Move it 1 second.
Right, okay, now I'm still moving. That'll be good. Should I move it to right there, maybe?
Right there is fine.
Okay.
Your adjustments, extrusion, rotate, and let's try to keep from moving it, right? Because when you move it, you're moving it to 3D space.
Okay.
And then, excellent. All right, now let's get some lighting. Let's try to match the
I need to move mine like yours is too on the couch.
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Let's put it right there. there just to line it up with the cushion. So, yeah, now we can right click on the empty space underneath the layers, and then new light.
So now I want to sit mine up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, alt and,
Well, no, so
What is
let's
that
get a new
red?
camera.
oh, that's probably where I missed
You can see that, I think it's the X,
it.
yeah, X rotation. So, yeah, new camera. All right, default, let's name it something unique.
What you say, viewing?
Yeah.
And then all that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so attaches to the new camera, so we'll fix that afterwards. So let's go ahead and we see active camera on the bottom of the viewing things panel, switch it to the new camera.
To view,
Mm-hmm.
like that, right?
Cool. Yeah. And then we can hit Alt.
And start moving, right?
Yeah. Okay, come on to the side. The footage isn't going to move with it, but what we're trying to do is get at the X rotation, the red rotation. So yeah, we can move it to the side. We can move it
That
to the
way?
side. Yeah, we'll tumble it to the side. There we go. All right, and then let's click on the text. Yeah, and then let's hit that red quarter circle there.
Right, this one, right?
Yeah.
The X. And I still get off, correct?
No.
No, just move it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Standing it up. Yeah.
Come up some more, you think?
Well, let's change camera views. Let's see what it looks like. So, for viewing, you see the viewing camera.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking about view. So should I go back on text?
Yeah. Well,
It don't matter?
that does. Yeah. So let's change that back to yeah.
Active camera.
Tracker. All right. Let's scrub through. See what we get. Okay, we can stand it up a little bit more.
Where is it?
And then extrusion.
Oh, that looks perfect. That's sitting up higher than you.
Yeah, that looks about right.
I'm bigger than that.
Okay, got the extrusion in there.
Is it supposed to go slow like that?
Got the value? It's fine. All right, and then
Is that okay, Tate?
yeah, then extrusion.
I do right click.
So like we did last time. So underneath the text
Oh.
layer,
The,
geometry options.
and right here,
Mm-hmm.
just move it, right? The letter, the number.
Right, just adding some value there.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. There we go. All right. So next step, and last step for today. Gonna add a new light. I'm trying to match the lighting in here. Right. So what we can see here is we got some sort of pretty strong key light. It's a window behind the camera. Is primarily lighting everything up, and then you got some bounce light going in here. So right now, let's add in that huge key light from the windows. We'll go ahead to New after right-clicking in the empty space. Light. It's going to come with my light options here. So give it a unique name. I'm going to call it Sunlight. And for this one, I'm just going to go with the parallel. So the parallel light is just this huge light. It's designed to emulate the sunlight. So it lights everything in one direction regardless of where your element is. And do that. I'm going to go with white for now. 100% intensity. No fall off. Cast shadows. And then shadow darkness, just pretty much everything default. Hit OK. So my light comes in 3D space. So we want to use that camera, that viewing camera. So we don't mess with the tracker camera since it's already keyed in. Switch this over. Viewing camera. Alright, that way I can tumble around, pressing and holding Alt, and pressing and holding left click. Alright. Got my light right here. I'm looking for my text. There it is. Okay. Zoom out enough. Got it. Alright, so all moving and whatnot, and the viewing camera, it doesn't matter since that's not the one where we're going to make the video out of. Right? Click on my light. I'm going to adjust the point of interest here first. And what I want to do is point that or get that point of interest right on top of the 3D text. Thing is, it's in 3D space. So we're going to have to tumble around a little bit. Press and hold middle mouse button to pan around. So tumble, pan around to get that point of interest right on my 3D text here. Alright, so that's about right. I'll go back to my track camera footage. Track camera view. Check to see if it looks right. Looks like we're getting closer to the regular, the natural lighting conditions here. Alright. Alright. It's getting there. Okay, then I just want to try to match that angle by moving the light itself around. Something like that. We'll go underneath, pump up the intensity a little bit so I can see it. Yeah, so you want to adjust the point of interest first, which is that small little crosshair here. I'm going to get that onto the 3D text in the 3D space.
So you have to move in order?
Yeah. And then once you have that point of interest in place, then we can move the light itself. And the point of interest is just telling the light where to point. Right? So this is the source of the light with the manipulator here, and then this point here tells it to point in that direction regardless of its motion, regardless of its original placement here.
What
Mm-hmm.
number did you put in for intensity and the light options, right?
For intensity, it's underneath here. Yeah, light options.
Okay. And what number did you put?
I just bumped it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more of a filling it out type of thing.
Okay.
All right, so once you get that first primary, that key light in place, then you can add a second light from behind the 3D text. Add a little bit bounce light. And I'm gonna set that for homework for next time. So we have our 3D text, we have our footage here, right? And we're working on our key light right now. And then for next time, let's have a bounce light in the back. So bounce light would light up the back of the text, kind of like everything behind this mini wall here. It's being hit by a lot of the bounce light rather than the sunlight.
So I have to move around with the camera to see what.
Now you can use the same viewing camera. Just make sure it's hidden so it doesn't attach to that camera for whatever reason.
Okay. So kind of use that to move around and see where the light needs to be.
Right. Right. Cool. Any questions, y'all?
Nothing right
No.
now.
Right.
All right. Cool. Good work, y'all. Good work. All right. And next time we'll get into track motion, and that'll allow us to place video and images within the canvas here.
So yeah, this is our homework this week.
Yeah, adding that extra light is the homework.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you do?
Next week.
What did you do?
Yeah.